All right, I think we're good. So, hi, this is Dave. I thought maybe it'd be helpful just to kind of see how a text-based coding music software works. So I made this quick little movie here. So here's what's going on. This is called an IDE. I think that stands for Integrated Development Environment. But anyways, this is an IDE they made for the software called RTC Mix, which is the one I like to use the most right now. Um, and so I'm sort of initializing everything right here, telling it what sample rate, and then I'm saying, hey, I want to use these instruments. A wavetable, that's going to be the thing that makes the sound. The EQ, that's going to be the thing that changes the timbre of the sound. It's a filter. And then this is a nifty echo or delay effect. And then right here, this is just some code that's basically busing. So you could think of this as, here's my guitar, and then I plug it into with some cables into a wah wah pedal. So that's configuring into here, and then that's busing into my delay, and then we're going out. So that's just me setting it up. This is what you would do on a mixer. I'm just doing it with code. Here's a bunch of notes I identified so I could use these later. And then these are all just parameters for the instruments. My wavetable, that the thing that makes the sound, I'm telling that to, hey, I want you to be a buzz wave. That's a certain kind of sound wave. There's square waves or triangular waves. This is an envelope. And really this code that I'm using here, this is a lot like C++ or Python, which is what programmers use to, I don't know, make bank statements or video games or all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is just under the hood. It's a really common, I guess, sort of language protocol. Here's where I'm talking about my filter. So really, I've just identified all these, how it's going to work. What it's going to do. Now this is where it gets more interesting. I think now I've got these arrays here. So this is a sequence I've created of notes that the bass instrument is going to play. And then this is another array, and this is the sequence of durations, so how long each note is going to be. And then we get to the exciting algorithmic part. This is a construction called a for loop. So basically this is just me saying, hey, computer, I want you to repeat this set of instructions 999 times. This is how it moves through the array of notes one at a time. This is how it moves through the rhythms. And this is some trick stuff. Now, here's the neat part about the randomness. I think I mentioned this to Kate. I'm saying for one of my variables, the cutoff, so the filter, the EQ, I'm telling it to, hey, every time you pick notes, I want you to randomly pick a value for how dark or bright that note is going to be. And it gives it sort of a more human quality. And then here's what's actually going on in the loop. These are the wavetables. I've sort of mixed three of them together. It's sort of like having a cello and a violin and a clarinet play at the same time or something. They're slightly different, but they're all doing the same thing. And then here's that EQ or filter setting. Okay. And then if you'll bear with me, then one last thing. So it's doing all that. And then as it's doing that, it's coming out of this loop. And here's my nifty delay effect here. All right, so let's see if we can get this puppy to go here. We'll probably see. I like this when you press play, it spits out all these computations down here that show you, each set of equations it did, the output for each time it makes a note. So let's see if this plays. I think I got it loud enough. There we go. So you can see this is 999 instances. All right, cool. And you could see, I like working this way because it's you're sort of taking yourself away from the keyboard and the visual interface that you get with some of the other softwares. You're just under the hood here. Let me show you one more cool trick that I like. Uh, this is why I like to do this stuff, is you can kind of use this algorithmic feature a little more. So here's an if statement, and I can say, hey, every time you're counting through, um, divide the number that you're on. So which iteration of the loop, like let's say you're on the 7th time, divide that by 5. This is a modulo feature. And if you divide it by 5 and it equals 0, then don't play the note. And what this does is it creates this sort of random muting, and it sort of syncopates it, and it generates different patterns that I might not think of myself. So it's sort of like a collaboration. So let's try this now with modulo 5, and you'll hear it'll sound different. So there's an interesting pattern it generated. And I can go through and pick different kind of modulos and see if that gives us a different riff that I might want to use instead. Let's try it with 9. So here's modulo 9. Once again, this is sort of this algorithmic generative way of working. That's kind of cool. And it's a lot like, when I play bass, I'm not the best bass player, but, when I'm repeating riffs and stuff like that, sometimes I'll leave out notes or change some stuff. So this kind of gives it a more organic feel to it. So anyway, so that's how this stuff works. This text-based music coding software. There's a bunch of them. This is the one I like to use the most, but yeah, hope that was informative. Thanks.